There's a Yamaha F150 sitting in a commercial slip in Charleston, South Carolina, right now with 15,515 hours on the original powerhead. That's roughly 930,000 car equivalent miles. The water pump has been replaced dozens of times. The anodes have been swapped out more often than most people change their truck tires. But the powerhead, the block, the cylinders, the crank, they're original, still running, still in service, still hauling passengers across Charleston Harbor like it did when George W. Bush was in office. And when a Yamaha certified tech finally pulled the cowling and ran a compression test, every cylinder came back within 3% of factory spec. I want to explain what's inside that engine that let it get there, and more importantly, I want to show you what breaks on the other brands long before they ever see those numbers. That F-150 belongs to the Charleston Water Taxi fleet. Co-owner Randy Connolly told Yamaha's press team they thought about replacing it, but it was still running strong and they wanted to see how long it would last. And I should be honest with you here, Yamaha provides engines and service to that fleet. In exchange for testimonials, it's a sponsored relationship, but those are real hours on a real engine doing real commercial work 6 days a week in saltwater. They're not the only ones. Captain Jimmy Lewis runs a live bait operation out of Miami on twin Yamaha F300s. His engines cleared 10,000 hours in about 4 years. Original lower units, original power heads, oil changed every 100 hours. His mechanic at Eric's Outboard Marine documented the whole thing. Pay attention to this next detail because it explains everything about why Yamaha engines last the way they do. The 4.2-liter V6 that powers the F225, the F250, and the F300 uses something called plasma-fused cylinders. Instead of pressing steel sleeves into the aluminum block like everybody else, Yamaha sprays a superheated alloy of chrome, nickel, and manganese directly onto the bare aluminum cylinder wall. The coating is only a few thousandths of an inch thick, but it's roughly 60% harder than steel. And the surface is micro-dimpled, like a golf ball, so it holds oil in the crosshatch pattern between the piston rings and the wall. The practical result at 5,000 hours is that mechanics pulling these engines apart are finding visible crosshatch, still on the cylinder walls. That's the honing pattern that was cut into the surface at the factory. On most engines, that's worn smooth by 2,000 hours. On a plasma-fused Yamaha, it's still doing its job at 5,000. There's one trade-off you need to know. If a plasma cylinder does get damaged, you can't just hone it and press in a new sleeve like a traditional block. It's the whole block or nothing. So the coating is extraordinarily durable in service, but it's binary in failure. I don't say that lightly because it means a $5,000 repair on a traditional engine becomes a full block replacement on a Yamaha. Your call on whether that trade is worth it. Now here's where the engineering starts stacking up. The lower unit castings on Yamaha outboards are poured from an alloy called YDC30. Yamaha developed it in 1993. It's an aluminum silicon magnesium alloy with titanium content. They've never published exact percentages, and I'm not going to make them up. Mercury has their own patented alloys. Suzuki and Honda have proprietary coatings. But nobody else uses titanium in their marine casting alloy, and Yamaha has been pouring it for over 30 years. On top of that alloy, Yamaha runs a 5-layer corrosion paint process called Phase 5. Primer, undercoat, bake-hardened acrylic, second bake, final clear urethane. Robot applied, about 3.5 hours per lower unit. Then sacrificial anodes at the lower unit, bracket, trim tab, and internal thermostat housing. Replace them at 50% consumption, and the salt water never touches the metal underneath. And the lower unit itself holds 32 ounces of gear oil. That matters more than you think. The Mercury Verado L6 holds about 22 ounces. The Suzuki DF300AP holds about 1.05 liters. The Honda BF250 holds less than a quart. More oil means more thermal mass, more debris suspension, and longer intervals before the gears are running on contaminated fluid. If you're finding this useful and you want to see more teardowns like this, hit subscribe. I cover outboards, hulls, and the stuff the dealers won't show you every week. So what actually breaks on the competition that Yamaha avoids? Mercury's Verado uses a supercharger. That supercharger has an end cap with a bushing that wears out. End cap kits run $1,100 to $1,270. Failures have been documented as early as 440 hours. One triple-engine fountain owner on the Hull Truth reported both superchargers on his 2009 Verado 300s failing at the same time, around 900 hours. That's $9,000 in supercharger repairs on engines that weren't even halfway through their expected life. The Mercury Optimax is worse. Its air compressor feeds the same oil line as the upper crank main bearing. So when the compressor starts failing, it starves the top end of lubrication. One Caribbean charter captain documented 3 powerhead failures on twin 2007 Optimax 225s that became, in his words, a total nightmare past 500 hours. Every failure I just mentioned, the Verado supercharger, the Optimax compressor, plus every other major outboard brand, has a full teardown verdict in the Outboard Blacklist and Buy List. It's one of 6 guides in the bilge files. What mechanics actually run on their own boats, used market red flags by brand, and the horsepower sweet spots at every power range. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the description and pinned comment. Honda is the closest competitor to Yamaha on longevity, and I respect the BF series. But the BF250 has a documented thrust washer and main bearing failure pattern. One owner on the iFish forum needed a $9,000 short block replacement at 500 hours, out of warranty. Honda's eliminated the O2 sensors that were failing 5 times in 360 hours on earlier models, so they're listening. But the Honda weighs 60 to 70 pounds more than the comparable Yamaha F250 and has a smaller displacement, 3.6 liters versus 4.2, which means it's working harder at cruise to deliver the same power. Yamaha doesn't use a supercharger. No air compressor. No software-locked ECU, like the Evinrude E-Tech that killed its own resale value when BRP shut down production in 2020. No automotive O2 sensors. They run a water-cooled rectifier and regulator instead of an air-cooled one, which is why stator-side electrical failures are rare on modern F-Series engines. And I'm not making Yamaha out to be perfect, because they're not. The 2000 through 2005 F-Series had a defective exhaust coating that ate through the exhaust passages at 380 to 700 hours. Class action was filed, dismissed on procedural grounds, no recall, no settlement. Yamaha quietly re-engineered the exhaust for 2006 and later. The F150 has a counterbalancer gear that strips teeth. Yamaha has revised the part number 5 times without ever issuing a public bulletin. And the 4.2-liter V6 has a documented oil-making problem where fuel dilutes the crankcase oil. Commercial operators in Australia cut their oil changes to every 50 hours specifically to manage it. But those are known, documented, addressable issues on an engine architecture that routinely reaches 5,000 hours when the maintenance schedule is followed. That's the part that separates Yamaha from everything else on the market, not exotic technology, but conservative engineering. Overbuilt where it counts. Conventional where it doesn't need to be clever. That Charleston F150 at 15,515 hours didn't get there because Yamaha built something nobody else could build. It got there because a fleet owner changed the oil, swapped the impellers, replaced the anodes, flushed with fresh water after every run, and did it for 19 years without skipping a service. The Yamaha secret is that there is no secret, just an engine that rewards the work. And one more thing. If you're looking at a used Yamaha with high hours and wondering whether to walk away, don't. Pull the cowling, run a compression test, check the oil for fuel smell, and look at the service records. A Yamaha with 3,000 documented hours and a full maintenance log is a better buy than a Yamaha with 400 mystery hours and no records. Hours don't kill these engines. Neglect does. YouTube thinks you'll like these 2 videos, so click whichever one grabs you. And if you made it to the end, you already know this channel doesn't waste your time, so subscribe.